from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. My wife Colleen is here in the green. In 1986, my dad retired from the Niagara region where I grew up, and he came down on a golf trip and ended up buying a lot in course number 6. 2 years later, they shared a house that they purchased at 225 Burning Tree. And they were there in 1988, 3 doors up from where John and Linda arrived 1 year later. My mom went down and said hi to Linda. They became fast friends. Aww. My dad needed a ladder. He walked down the street the next day and said, "Do you have a ladder?" And him and John became friends forever. There were tons of golf trips between them. There were tons of golf trips with me and John. We won the 1997 Pinehurst Member Guest one year. Wow. We had such a great time. I brought my wife down. We got engaged in the rocking chairs at the Carolina Hotel in 1999. And then John came up for the member guest at my club in Ottawa. And it happened to be the first year I was going to be the chairman of the member guest committee. And so all my buddies up there are like, "Well, who are you bringing as your guest?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm bringing this guy John from Pinehurst." And they're like, "Is he any good golfer?" I said, "Yeah, John's a pretty good golfer." And he shows up with an 8 handicap. Well, geez, John, like last year at the member guest down there, you were like a 3. I'm not sure what's going on. He comes up, he's an 8 handicap, he makes putt after putt after putt. And I'm like, "John, like, I'm the first year being the chairman. I can't win this tournament." Lo and behold, guess what happens? We win the tournament. And I spent the next couple of years telling guys, "Well, yeah, he's an 8, but he plays at the hardest golf course in the world." So that's why it is. So for years and years, I promised John that we were going to reconnect. After 99, Colleen and I raised a family. I became self-employed. John opened the pro shop. He was busy. We never lost track of each other, but we didn't see each other for a long, long time. And I sold my business, and I said to my wife, drove her crazy looking at houses in Pinehurst to buy, and we made a laundry list of reasons to buy a house in Pinehurst. It was golf, it was weather, it was drivable from where we live. We have 3 couples from Ottawa that live down here. There was a lot of reasons, but one of the top reasons that I said to Colleen, if anything ever went wrong, I knew John and Linda were here. And he would lend me that ladder or anything else that I ever would need. So unfortunately, John and Linda passed away, and I was making a trip down here, and I got in touch with Tom. And I said, "Tom, is there anything at the house that you would like us to help you with?" I said, "I'll come over anytime, except I'm flying down and I don't have a car." And he said to me, "Well," he said, "Linda's car needs a good ride anyway, so why don't you use it while you're down here?" So I met up with Tom, got the PT Cruiser, drove it for a couple of days, met up with Tom, and he's like, "Why don't you buy it from the estate?" And I'm like, "Look at this thing, it's pristine. It's unbelievable. It's got 29,000 miles on it." So Tom said there's only one problem. And he opened up the side door and he said, "There's one ding in the car." Linda dropped a bottle of peppermint schnapps. On the side of the door, there's a little ding right here. I said, "That's great. When I buy the car and get it to my house, I'm going to drop a bottle of Canadian whiskey on it." So we now have the PT Cruiser. We don't call it the PT Cruiser anymore. We call it Linda.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much.
I can try, I'm short.
Tom, grab a shot.
Yeah.
And leave.
Sorry. Here you go. Thanks. I got your back.
Everybody, thank you all for coming. This is to John and Linda.
John
and Linda.
Miss you both.
I love you.
I'm burning for all of you.
I'm Linda Kelly.
I love you too, Mom.
Driving her?